Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kwakadash, the honors and salutations to the elders and apostle group doing real well. This is Brother Nasha DC Camp. Yeah, so you see on the screen, man, this Edomites, they're really upset about their so-called weapons being, you know, limited, by the governor here in Virginia, the governor and his cronies. I won't just say the governor and his cronies. They'll just say the elites, man, that pull the strings of these Democrats and Republicans and independents and all these so-called law enforcement agencies. So it's going to be terrible, man. Here in the state of Virginia. Not just put Virginia on the spotlight, but the whole United States, man. It's gonna be so much chaos. When you read the book of Isaiah, all right, chapter 19, it tells you about the Egyptian going against the Egyptian. That's a nation divided, and the Lord Yahushua talks about a nation divided is on the brink of destruction, and that's what America is. That's the direction America's heading down to. That's the road America's heading down to. All right, it's part of the Lord's program that these things happen. So the Lord Abashimashai is stirring up that spirit of division. All right, the spirit of arrogance, the spirit of betrayal, and that's what these people are concerned about. They're concerned about their weapons being taken away from them. They're concerned about their way of life being snatched up, because these elites know that their rulership is on the brink of destruction. It's coming to an end, all right? And they have to do whatever they can to see if they could circumvent the prophecies of Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. And this idea of gun confiscation, that's just part of it. The idea of having the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, being implanted in people's bodies, right? That's also part of it. The collapse of the economy, destruction of the household, the prison industrial complex, the draft and all that stuff. So even the military industrial complex, they're all gears, for the elites to have control over the people, and the people are basically saying they're fed up. Okay, but you know how it is, man. Our people are not gonna get the message, not gonna get the memo, until all hell breaks loose. And that's how Jake is, man, over to the last minute.
Yes, many people very pro-gun that came out here tonight. There were a few other ones that did speak in front of the city council meeting. Now, what I'm told from people inside that meeting, there's just a handful of speakers left, and city council is expected to vote on a resolution. Now, officials tell me there were about 1,200 people at the height of this that came out earlier this evening. You can see right now there are...
And that's how these people are, man. When Jake was getting gunned down in the street, going through all this oppression, these Edomites weren't really there, man. They weren't really there. Their voice wasn't really being, heard at the top of the mountain. It's always like, they always want to get something of theirs so they could have an excuse, to show people that, well, we're concerned. They don't really care, man, about the plights of Jake, all right? If you want to hear about folks protesting for poor economic conditions in Jake's neighborhood and communities, these Edomites don't really care, man. But when it comes to their so-called Second Amendment, right, the rights to bear weapons, all of a sudden they are awakened, and the man of the Lord has been speaking about this for decades, so I would not be surprised, how stressful and upset, it's gonna be for them, because all this idea of Second Amendments and all that stuff, it's not really about Jake, man. It's all about these Edomites. They don't want to live without that sword because they don't feel complete without it, because they feel that something terrible is on its way, and they want to protect themselves. They like to pretend that they don't hear the man of the Lord on the highways and byways. These are the type of people that flag a video for talking about the destruction of America. And now that they're beginning to see it's happening, all of a sudden they want to hurry up and and scrape up what's left. But it's too late, man. They never had a chance in the first place. So it's all part of the theater of war that Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is orchestrating. Okay, because tyranny needs to have its way in America. So the FBI can't stop it. It doesn't matter how many so-called white supremacists or all these domestic terrorists that try to catch or whatever. They want to have any false flags. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything, because the FBI is basically powerless. Their fate is in the hand of the Lord. All right, so they're all going down. It doesn't matter what government agencies out there trying to stop all this chaos from coming to America. They're basically helpless. The NYPD is helpless. So just imagine, man, you're looking at your so-called police union, looking at their so-called retirement funds going down the drain because the elites have a way of making people sit up, especially these law enforcement officers. The stroke of a pen, all that money they've had in their retirement, could just go down the drain. And that's what's going to happen in these last days, man, because the elite to control all these, all these retirement funds, the insurance, all that, your stocks and bonds and loans, interest rates and all that stuff. They control that, and these so-called police officers, they depend on that pension money. Once they leave the so-called police force, So just imagine how mad they're gonna be, when they're being pushed into a corner. So you know how it is, man. The elites already had their laugh, and they're preparing for their last laugh to have about the people. Okay, so it's gonna be so chaotic in these last days. So I'm gonna get this precept here from the book of Psalms chapter 44, okay? Because, man, Lord, you don't need to be worrying about weapons, man. You may have access to weapons, you may own weapons, you may know how to use them, but that's not really what we're about. We're about the words of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. So this is Psalms chapter 44, start from verse 5. Alright, it says, through thee will we push down our enemies. It's the Lord. Okay, you know what? Let me start with verse 4. Psalms 44, verse 4. Thou art my king, O Yahweh. Command deliverances for Jacob. Yeah, because we're going to the time of Jacob's trouble. Our people are not in a position to survive, properly, here on the earth. Because so much chaos, so much wickedness, that these Edomites have pushed. We're basically in the low state, okay? And that's why we need Lord Yahweh Shai to come and get us out of this, shithole, all right? Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us, okay? And who's going to rise up against us? The beast, the beast, And that's what we have to, keep in mind, The beast, Esau's power structure, the police forces, military, and all that stuff. They're gonna come after, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and it's just part of the journey. We have to endure all the way on to the end. Verse 6: For I will not trust in my bow, and neither shall my sword save me. All right. And that's what you need to always keep in mind, man. Guns, weapons, ammo, food, communication equipment, habitation, all that stuff is not really necessary. What really matters the most is the word of the Lord.
There's still some people out here. There are many people inside the building. They're watching what's going on out here. But we spoke with many of them that were here. 15-year-old Caitlin Flynn is a high school student who says she believes in the Second Amendment.
It's your right to protect and defend yourself. And I feel it's very scary if somebody tries to take that away from you.
She and her dad were part of the large group outside of City Hall watching the Chesapeake City Council meeting on a projector.
It would be educational for her to see.
He, like many people here, want Chesapeake to be a sanctuary city. They wore orange stickers that read "Guns Save Lives."
Yeah, and that's what they really care about, man. Guns save lives, you know. They don't really care about the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Hashem Kodash. And that's how you know these are the Edomites the Bible speaks of, okay? So verse 8, you know what verse 7 says in Psalms 44, but thou hast saved us from our enemies, okay? Not our weapons, not a Glock, not a Smith & Wesson, not a 50 cal or 22 and all that stuff, no ballistic shields, and has put them to shame that hated us. Yeah, and that's what these Edomites are going to feel in this last day, shame. Okay, because when the elites come and get the weapons and all that stuff, then you're going to know who the real men of the Lord are, who the Israelites are. Because the men of the Lord are going to be endured with spiritual power in these last days. You know, just like when you watch the first installment of the X-Men, you hear about all that complaints, you know, all those so-called government officials complaining about, you know, people having powers, you know, they're doing this, they're a threat to society, threat to national security, we need to contain them and all that stuff. You know, they start hearing about the Mutant Registration Act. So it's all coming full circle, you know. They tell you in the movies what they want to do. All right. So when they take these weapons from these people, when the people will run out of ammo and nutrition and all that stuff, they have a mental breakdown. Then you're going to see exactly what the Lord is going to be doing. Then you're going to have another level of complaints. You know, they're going to complain about all these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans walking around, you know, performing miracles, you know, with spiritual powers, you know, extraterrestrial abilities. You know, that's what they're going to be complaining against, you know, next. Okay. So it says in verse 8, in the Most High we boast all the day long and praise thy name forever, Salah. And that's what we have to think about, the name of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Hashem Kodash. And another precept is Isaiah chapter 59 verse 19. Okay, it's all about the basic precept. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and its glory from the rising of the sun. And that's what the men of the Lord are going to be about, fearing the Lord, reverencing him. Okay, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Kodash shall lift up a standard against him. All right, because we're going to be protected in these last days, man. You know, your faith is going to be really protected. You know, the angels of the Lord will have guide over you. Okay, and then you will understand how valuable your life is to the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know that you're not just a bomb. You know that you're a true Israelite according to the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Okay. So this is Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And that's balance. You know, you're going to have trials and tribulations, and then you're going to have salvation. Okay. So that's how, you know, our people need to start, you know, viewing the mercy of the Lord. You know, you got to go through that trial. And then you're going to get mercy. Where you having mercy means you've been saved. Okay? And that's what we need to concern ourselves with. You know, the mercy of the Lord, the sure mercies of David. Okay? Pray the Lord Yahweh deliver us from all these madness. Because these people are going to lose their mind. They're going to be upset, you know, when the tap runs dry. Okay? And then final precept is going to be from the book of Psalm chapter 60, verse 19. Oh, Slakia. Psalms chapter 60 verse, you know what, no, I'm just gonna yeah, select Psalms chapter 60 verse 11. Okay, 11 and 12. All right. Psalms chapter 60 verse 11 and 12. So it says, give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man. So all this police force, National Guard, they can't really defend our people, man, from all this chaos that's coming upon the face of the earth. All right. And then it says, through the Most High we shall do valiantly, for he it is that shall tread down our enemies. So the battle is the Lord's, all right? The Lord, Bashim Ashah, Bashim Kakadash, is the one that's going to give us the victory over our enemies, all right? So just stay, stay, patiently, in the words of Lord Bashim Ashah. You got to suffer, the ridicule and mockery and the violence, that's coming our way. And pray the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai gives you the courage and the faith to withstand it, because you have to endure all the way unto the end, all right? Because it's crazy, man, when these bullets start flying, man, bombs start going off, agents of the so-called United States government agencies, they're disgruntled, they start blowing up stuff. They're angry, they're looking for politicians, they're looking for attorney generals, they're looking for congressmen and senators, they're looking for all these elites that let the market tank. They're looking for all those people that cause their life to be miserable. So you're going to see how messed up it's going to be, man. How all these so-called government employees, how they're going to be so pissed off when all hell breaks loose. So it's just going to make the drama more interesting, so you just got to sit back and let the word of the Lord have its play, so hey, Kahala Yahal Bashima Shabashima Kakadash Shalom.